A.G.A.P.W, η ομογένεια κοντά σας.
This is a wonderful event tonight, bridging many different professional women, and as Vice President of A.G.A.P.W, I would love to invite people to continue with these types of organizational connections. And we do all sorts of things that include professional women who are Greek American in descent, and we share each other's resources from anything in the arts or business or philanthropy or medicine or law. Our women are from all over in terms of passions and interests and careers.
You do a lot of charities, right?
Yes, and every year, once a year, we give a Woman of the Year award, and every year we also give a $3,000 scholarship. Hopefully we can raise more funds for a serious scholarship for an outstanding Greek American woman student. And we have fantastic students who are applying from Olympia, NYU, of Greek American descent, who are, their GPA is very high, they're very involved in their communities. So we have basically like a three-pronged approach. We're thinking about the younger generation, we're thinking about professional women in the workforce, and then also outstanding women who are leaders right now in their fields, whether it's government, whether it's philanthropy, whether it's the United Nations, whether it's business or art. And we're looking for all sorts of ways to bridge women in their professions together and create a support network, basically, and a set of resources.
So where are people they can find? You say some website or email?
Yes, A.G.A.P.W, it's A.G.A.P.W, and it stands for Association of Greek American Professional Women.org. You can find all our events and past events, as well as our scholarship opportunities every year.
Okay, thank you. What's your name?
Thank you. Aphrodite Nava.
Well, my mother came from Mani, a small village between Kalamata and Sparta, which I visited. And my father came from Asia Minor, from Avramit. And they fled the Turks in 1914.
You fly a lot there?
No, I don't go a lot in Greece. I was in Cyprus about 4.5 years ago, in Greece about 6 years ago. This was the last time I was there.
There's still some interesting projects you still do?
There are always interesting projects, but you know, as you get older, they become less. They're not writing stories about 82-year-old women. I'm constantly doing stuff. So the last movie I did was about 2 months ago. It's called Seven Chinese Brothers. Very funny, wonderful movie, very original. And I did it with Jason Schwartzman, who was one of the actors on Bored to Death, which is a series on HBO that I did. It only ran about 2 years, but...
Okay.
And I worked with Zach Galifianakis on that one.
Thank you very much.
These are my dear friends,
Yes.
Catherine Chadwick and Frida Mindlin. Both of them have an acting background, and I'm very excited that they're here today to share just like you. Yes, all of us. So it's really wonderful to have a bunch of wonderful women coming out for this event to support A.G.A.P.W and be in the presence of Olympia Dukakis. Έλα, ναι. Και θα μοιραστούμε πολλές ωραίες ιστορίες.
For taking time in your busy schedules to be here. Aphrodite, that was Vice President, Maria Christodoulou in the front. Thank you. A lot of us couldn't be here tonight, and they are here with us in our hearts.
I was born and raised in a small town outside of Thessaloniki called Sindos, my Chorio, as I like to call it. And since I was 7.5 years old, soon after my dad passed away, I just couldn't wait to leave home. So I made the big announcement at probably 8 years old. Well, I just can't wait to grow up and go to New York. And when I turned 23, I arrived in New York. Fast forward to a few years later, when I continued to pursue my acting career and whatnot, and then end of 2009, beginning of 2010, I go to an event where Olympia Dukakis is one of the speakers. And it was a presentation about the acting teachers of the East Coast. It was a book someone wrote, and you were there as part of one of the panels. And I felt it was probably, I don't know, 600-700 people in the audience. It was a big deal event, book presentation. And I remember Olympia got on stage as part of the panel, and she was the only one talking, and she was so extremely passionate about what she was saying and how young actors should really learn the craft and have respect for the business and respect for acting, and what it was like when you were growing up and you were trying to make it as an actor, and how times and the industry have changed. And of course, I felt that Olympia was just talking to me. There was no one else in the audience. And I'm pretty sure hundreds of people felt the same way. So in 1999, she premiered a one-woman play, Rose, at the National Theatre in London, and subsequently on Broadway in 2000. The play earned her an Outer Critics Circle Award and Drama Desk Award nomination, and she continues to tour the country with it to this day. We'll have to talk about that as well. Most recently, she was seen on the New York stage in the Roundabout Theatre's production of The Milk Train Doesn't Stop Here Anymore, and she has performed in over 130 productions off-Broadway and on Broadway and regionally at theaters including the Public Theater, ACT, Shakespeare in the Park, Shakespeare & Co., and the Williamstown Summer Theatre Festival, where you have also served as Associate Director for a while. Her most recent collaboration with Shakespeare & Co. was in the summer of 2013, last summer, which I got to see that play, and it was in the title role of Mother Carriage and her children, and I want us to talk about that for very specific reasons. Okay, a little bit about her personal life.
No, you didn't talk about the 2 theaters I started.
Oh, but I'm getting there. This is going to be, please, refill your glasses of wine. We're not going anywhere. Olympia married Yugoslav-American actor Louis Zoric in 1962, 52 years.
Right.
The New York-based couple went on to co-found the Whole Theater Company in Montclair, New Jersey, and ran the company for 19 years, from 1971 to 1990.
Wow.
As actress, director, producer, and teacher, she still found the time to raise their 3 young children. She also became a master instructor at the New York University for 14 years. She scored theater triumphs in A Man's a Man, for which you won an off-Broadway Obie Award in 1962, several productions of The Cherry Orchard and Mother Carriage as well, 6 characters in Search of an Author, The Rose Tattoo, one of my favorite ones, The Seagull, The Marriage of Betty and Boo, another Obie Award you got for that, and more notably, your many performances in the title role of A.G.A.P.W. We'll have to speak about the Greeks as well. A good portion of her successes was launched within the walls of her own theater company, which encouraged the birth of new and untried plays. Her prolific directing credits include many of the classics, Orpheus Descending, The House of Bernarda Alba, Uncle Vanya, and A Touch of the Poet, as well as the more contemporary, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and Kennedy's Children. She also adapted such plays as Mother Carriage and The Trojan Women for your theater company. And over the duration of your marriage to Louis Zoric, you and your husband have experienced shared successes, appearing together in Long Day's Journey into Night, Camino Real, The Three Sisters, and The Seagull, among many others. And I definitely want us to talk about what it's like to be married to an actor and having to work with one sometimes. Both you and Louis Zoric are master interpreters of Chekhovian plays. One of your many recent acting collaborations was in the Chekhov Cycle in 2003. Inauspicious debuted in a big role as a mental patient in Lilith, that was in 1964. She tended to gravitate toward off-the-wall films with various offshoots of the ethnic mother. She played mom to such leads as Dustin Hoffman in John and Mary, Joseph Polonian in the cult comedy Made for Each Other, and Ray Sharkey in The Idolmaker. Interestingly enough, it was your scene-stealing work on Broadway in the comedy Social Security in 1986 that made director Norman Jewison pay attention to you. You caught his eye, and you ended up being cast in Moonstruck, which won you the Oscar, the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress. What else? The American Comedy Award, the Los Angeles Film Critics Award, and the Golden Globe, among many awards throughout your career and life. Then you went on to do Still Magnolias, Dad, Look Who's Talking, The Cemetery Club, Mr. Holland's Opus and Mother, and most recently Cloudburst. I know it's a film that you're very proud of and that means a lot to you, so we'll definitely speak about that and its subject as well. What else? And a little bit about TV. On TV, she received high praise for her work, especially for her sympathetic, transgendered landlady in the acclaimed miniseries Tales of the City and its sequels, More Tales of the City, you were an Emmy nominee, and Further Tales of the City as well in 2001. You were additionally seen in episodes of Bored to Death with Zach Galifianakis. Right. You had a lot of fun working with him, and TV movies such as Last of the Blonde Bombshells with Judi Dench, and Sinatra, which you won a Golden Globe nomination, and Joan of Arc, an Emmy nomination for that one. So you've done more or less over 40 other series and mini-series and guest starring roles over your long career. And last but not least, she is an ardent liberal and Democrat. You are the cousin of one-time presidential candidate Michael Dukakis, and you have a very special relationship. And moreover, you are a strong advocate of women's rights and environmental causes. You have published your best-selling autobiography, Ask Me Again Tomorrow, A Life in Progress, in 2003, an introspective chronicle full of your trademark candor and wry humor. She's also a figure on the lecture circuit covering topics as widespread as life in the theater to feminism, Alzheimer's, diabetes, domestic violence, and osteoporosis. A hardcore New Yorker, she still resides here with her husband, and you have received the Lifetime Achievement Award from the Greek America Foundation and the National Arts Club Medal of Honor, and received your start in the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 2013. It was about time. How many of us do we get to have our grandmother or our mother receive a star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame? And you're about to receive the Elian Norton Lifetime Achievement Award, which is the top theater award in Boston, and it's an equivalent to the Tony Awards in New York. Off with your bio.
My mother used to use that term, spring chicken. Well, you know, aging is not, what does it say? Aging is not for women.
Sissies, yeah, sissies. Betty Davis.
It's it has its issues, especially in the theater. The biggest problem is, of course, that there are not stories written for older women. The main audience, for example, in the movies, are young white men, 17 to 32 or something. That's the market. That's the strongest market. So, of course, those stories that those men are interested in are the ones that get done the most. It's not that Hollywood doesn't care about women's issues. They care about making money. And what's going to get people big people into the theater is what matters to them. And older people tend not to go that much to the movies. And now especially, of course, there's so much. You can sit home and wait for the, you know, the DVD to come your way. And that's, so between the storytelling and the age and going to the movie theater and the price of these tickets now, which are extraordinary, older people who have to watch their money prefer to wait for the DVD, and you know what kind of money they're going to make off of that. The regular marketplace, 17 to 30, as I said. They'll go with their buddies to see a movie. If it's really great, they'll go with their girlfriends. You know, that's 2 times. Then they'll get a DVD and have a party with it, etc., etc. But that's so much of it is so market driven. Why the European films? Evidently, it's different. I mean, you see the older British actresses. There are good parts with them, British films. It's also the French and the Germans. But that's what I would say. Just keep. Don't let the business define you. Don't let them tell you by its indifference that you're irrelevant.
Only thing is, just do it.
Amazing woman, you're an amazing actor, you're an awesome Greek, you're the best maniakisa ever. And we love you, and we are so proud and so fortunate to have you in our lives and to have someone like you represent us all around the world. We love you.
Well, thank you.
Tell me about tonight's event.
My name is Ellen Karas. I'm a stand-up comedian and an actress, and I came to listen to Olympia Dukakis speak tonight at the A.G.A.P.W seminar, workshop. Fantastic. Olympia is, when I think of Greek woman, actress, entertainer, I think of Olympia. She is dynamic, she is special, she was way ahead of her time. To listen to her story, she was a woman that really, I think, was successful because of her Greek spirit, but she's also uber smart. I mean, this woman is off the charts intelligent. And what I also got such a better sense about her tonight is her love for acting, her love for theater, her love for playwrights, and she's so versed in Shakespeare and the Greek plays and the classics, and she talked about Ibsen and Chekhov. I mean, she really is an actor's actor. She must be a director's dream. She's got such a passion for it. She's also a born teacher. So not only is she great at the craft, but she also knows how to speak about it and how to teach it and how to motivate you. And I asked her a question because I'd like to also do a one-woman show. I asked her for some advice, and because she knows how difficult it is to try to get ahead in this business. You're trying to do 20,000 things at the same time. You're trying to get noticed. You're trying to get representation. And she said to me, she looked me right in the eye and she said, don't let this business define you or else it will swallow you up. Do that one-woman show, because obviously it's something that you're passionate about. It's a story about my great-grandmother, who I loved very much, and to me it's also a story that needs to be said. So she really gave me a lot of motivation this evening. She's gorgeous, beautiful. You know, we're a society fixated on age. I'm not going to even say how old she is because it doesn't really matter. This woman is eternally youthful. She's beautiful on the outside, and you can see she's beautiful on the inside. And one more thing, just to show you how successful that she is, not only has she managed to have a stellar career, but she has a decades, 40-plus year marriage, successful marriage to her husband Lou, who's also a great actor. And it was a fantastic evening. I'm so happy to be here.
Μου αρέσουν οι εκδηλώσεις που κανονίζουν, έχουν φέρει πολύ ενδιαφέροντες ομιλητές. Πέρα από την Olympia Dukakis, ήταν και για την κυρία Schwab που είχε κάνει παρουσίαση στο προξενείο. Έχει πολύ ενδιαφέροντα θέματα τα οποία θίγει. Γι' αυτό
και κάνουν και charities και βοηθάνε.
Και η φιλανθρωπία φυσικά και τα scholarships, οι χορηγίες που κάνουν, είναι όλα αυτά πολύ ωραία.
Το όνομά σου?
Γιώργος Μπαλαφούτης.
Σας ευχαριστούμε που ήρθατε σήμερα στη συζήτησή μας με την Ομιλία Dukakis και την Σταυρούλα Τόσκα. Νιώθω βαθιά συγκινημένη. Πραγματικά το να είσαι στην παρουσία Legends, μια υπέροχη ηθοποιός και άνθρωπος, γυναίκα όπως η Olympia Dukakis και φυσικά η Σταυρούλα Τόσκα. Νιώθω βαθιά συγκινημένη και σας καλώ και στο επόμενο event που θα κάνουμε. Και ευχαριστώ και το A.G.A.P.W που πάντα μας υποστηρίζει. Μιχάλη Γιακουμέλο, είσαι θησαυρός. Σ' αγαπούμε πολύ και χαιρόμαστε που είσαι κοντά μας πάντα.
A.G.A.P.W, η ομογένεια κοντά σας.